This Week in Geek would like to thank Hunt-A-Killer, Tweaked Audio, Podlife the Book, Amazon.com, and the contributors to the Southgate Media Group Patreon page for making tonight's show possible. Welcome to This Week in Geek. I don't even know what day is it, 24th?
October 24th, a Thursday.
October 24th is a Thursday. I have been in hell for a week, so it's really hard for me to even keep track of where I'm at. We have no Chris tonight. We have no Lil. I don't know if we'll ever have a Lil again. He's so busy working at Walgreens. But Chris is sick, so it's us. You got us.
It's
Scott,
us.
this is going to be fun. We haven't done one, just the two of us. We might have done something at Blue Box one time.
I think so.
But I don't think we've done a recorded one. So this will be fun. We had that new intro because we've got all these like affiliate sponsors and things going on. I want to address those really quick. We picked up an amazing one this week. We picked up Hunt-A-Killer. Do you know what Hunt-A-Killer is?
No.
Hunt-A-Killer is a subscription box. It immerses you in this ongoing experience where you get clues. You get boxes sent to you, and they have clues where you're trying to hunt down this killer. And it's something you can do by yourself. It's something you can do like I was reading about it. People do it as a party game. It's just really cool. It's just a really cool way to kind of tweak that inner detective, that true crime bug that we all kind of have. So, yeah, man, I can't recommend it highly enough. And they are so cool. They have been so supportive with us. They like our show. They want to support our network. Another thing about them, which I like, part of the proceeds for every box goes to the Cold Case Foundation to help fund cold case investigations. So you're actually helping.
That's cool.
Yeah. John E. Douglas, FBI profiler that inspired Netflix shows Mindhunter. It's not Netflix, is it? I thought it was HBO. No, it is Netflix. He's the chairman of the board of this nonprofit foundation, so you know it's a legit thing. It's just a perfect activity. Here we are going into Halloween. In fact, right now, for the listeners of This Week in Geek, you can go to huntakiller.com right now and put in the coupon code Southgate, and you'll get 20% off on your first box. Again, make sure that you use that coupon code Southgate, Southgate, and you get 20% off on your subscription box, the first one. And it shows support for This Week in Geek.
All right.
So there you
Excellent.
Go catch a murderer. A friend of ours actually does this, and that's what prompted me to look into them. They freaking love it.
Okay.
So, yeah, man. And then we've got other things, but we can talk about those in a little bit. Scott, why don't we talk about some geek news? Why don't you give your social media up front? I
am on Twitter and Tumblr as Scotty Smurf. I like to reblog a lot of interesting things I come across and point out neat little things. And if you ever want to ask me my opinion on anything, certainly reach out, and I will look into it and give it a look. Yeah, definitely get in conversation with us on the Facebook page. We do have an Instagram and a Twitter. You can find the links to that on Linktree, linktr.ee/thisweekingeek. For all that information, all of our social media, and I have been busy putting all of our links to where you can find our show on there as well. But we love to get in conversation. I know Scott and I both comment a lot on things, and we've got a few people that comment. Get in there, talk about stuff. I mean, I know you guys have opinions about the Joker. I want to hear them. Unless you're a Lil, I don't want to hear it. It is doing Mondo money.
What was that?
It is doing Mondo money.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it just keeps going, and like 700 million, and it might be on track for I don't know if it'll crack that, but it's apparently reaching a lot of people. And my opinion on, I haven't seen it yet, and I saw the first trailer several months back, and I thought, okay, a semi-serious take on it. But reading more of the stuff about it now, about so many of the people kind of latching on to it that maybe maybe they're seeing the wrong thing, and it kind of made me leery. But but now I'm seeing other people getting interested in it of what it's talking about being a disaffected part of society, and being pushed out and lashing out at it, which I think bears exploration.
Right. Yeah. The whole thing before it came out, and see, I had a lot of conversations about it because a lot of people were saying to me, like friends and family, they were saying, "Oh, I don't want to see it. It's inciting violence. It's promoting this incel movement thing. It's like not really. It's trying to make what the buzz was that it was trying to give him an excuse, that mental illness was his excuse for acting the way he was, instead of, hey, we should treat the mental illness. There was a lot of that kind of talk.
Yeah.
But now that it's out, people are saying that's not really the message. And it's like he's not a sympathetic character, which is what they were afraid they were going to do with him.
Okay.
So, yeah, man, I can't wait to see it. It's just, me, you, it's hard to get out to things. And for you, it literally is years. I will wait until it's on. I'll probably get it at the library or something on Blu-ray. Right. I'm trying to share This Get Vocal on our Facebook group. Can't do it. We're just cursed tonight. So if there's anybody listening, if you go to my Facebook page, it is streaming right there, but we will have the video afterwards. So,
okay,
that for what it's worth. Did you see that they are saying that it's very likely there's going to be a Joker 2?
I didn't see that yet, but I guess it makes sense. Who was the last Joker? It was Jared Leto, right?
Jared Leto, yeah.
I was just thinking of how, the thing that came out about how he was trying to get it stopped, this current movie stopped, and
see, I don't know.
This is my character.
Do you think that's real?
I think so. I think there are actors that get attached to something, and they get it into their head that it's theirs and only theirs, and they don't want anybody else in on it.
Okay. I mean,
there's those stories of him getting like into character about it, and like sending them really gross presents, and I think he sent Margot Robbie a rat.
Yeah. There was all that stuff. He was like, he's a method actor, and he was doing the whole "I am the Joker" thing, and creating his version of the Joker. Great for him, but people didn't connect with it, especially him trying to do that after the Heath Ledger version. It was like, wow, yeah. See, now I actually didn't mind it. I look at each one of these under their own merits. I just look at it and go, you know what? This is his version of the Joker. I can buy into it. Was it? I don't know if it's a sustainable version of the Joker.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's.
He had a cameo in Suicide Squad, but if you had a movie of him against the Bat, I don't know. He just seemed crazy. He didn't seem methodical. Like there's something about the Joker.
I mean, yeah, Joker's generally presented as being a smart dude. He's crazy, but he's smart. He can put together a plan to get things done.
Right.
And it doesn't. The Jared Leto, what I saw, that didn't seem like he was projecting that idea, that type of personality there.
Yeah, I just don't think he connected with the audience.
Meredith Burgess with a painted over mustache.
It wasn't Meredith Burgess.
Cesar Romero
or Burgess Meredith.
Meredith,
but it wasn't. It was Cesar Romero.
Cesar Romero.
Yeah, he was phenomenal as the Joker.
Yeah, it's.
I think the Jared Leto one is considered the worst one. It's the one that people just don't connect with.
Right.
And it's too bad, because I watched, I was like, you know what, maybe, but I didn't connect with that whole Justice League that they were trying to cram down our throats. There were characters like Harley Quinn is great.
Right.
They got that character right. Even though there's a lot of stuff in that movie that I think is garbage, and the way they sexualized Harley Quinn, it was like it didn't need to be there. But that was kind of what the DCEU was kind of doing. A lot of butt shots on everybody.
Yeah.
Like when you saw Justice League, now Wonder Woman was great, right? You go to see Justice League, and my first reaction is every shot of Wonder Woman is from the ground up, so it gets a good butt shot on everyone. Right. And the Amazons went from wearing armor to they're in the Justice League, they're wearing bikinis, gold bikinis, and I'm like,
yeah, I saw
they're warrior women. They would never do this,
right?
So I mean, we don't want to beat a dead horse unless Chris and Alil are here because they love to beat this dead horse. But I do think I looked at the Joker and went, this is a standalone. And this is what I want DC to do. Standalone, solid films, experiment. Give me something different. We don't have to have everything interconnected like Marvel. In fact, that might be Marvel's Achilles heel. That everything, if it's not connected, it loses audience.
Yeah, I think there's a way you could like do something like Star Wars has kind of done, where you've got the Skywalker saga, but then you had Rogue One and Solo, and I think Solo could have done better, but Rogue One was fantastic. It's of the 4 new ones, it's my favorite, and it's not essential. If you just watched the original trilogy without you didn't know Rogue One existed, you'd be okay. Because,
well, we were for years.
Yeah, we were for nearly
40 years or something. Right. I mean, we knew there was a story but that was why the movie failed for a lot of people. It didn't fail at the box office necessarily, but it's why people didn't connect with it, is they felt like there were no stakes in the game, and then they killed everybody. But personally, I'm with you. Every time it's on, I fall right into it. I love it.
Oh, I know.
But I really want to see the stuff that was cut out, because I guess the stuff that was cut out was really strong too. But they one of the things they did change was killing everybody.
Right. Yeah.
And that's something I'm down with.
Yeah, I think it lent some weight to it that it needed. That this wasn't an easy thing. That these characters weren't going to have plot armor. Right. They couldn't be expected to get through this extraordinarily dangerous mission.
Yeah, the only thing it did for me is it made it hard for me to connect. Like, I don't remember anybody's name other than there's like a Diego or something, right?
Diego Luna is Cassian Andor. Felicity Jones is Jen Erso.
Yeah,
Donnie
Jen Erso is the one. I really liked her in it, but I never remember the name unless I'm seeing it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, Jen Erso is the character.
Well, speaking of my social media, on Tumblr, I
love this guy.
One of the I mean that's a standout performance.
Yeah, that was Stanley Tudyk. What's his name?
Alan
Tudyk.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Right, I say on Tumblr, if one of the hashtags I always use is called always reblog Rogue One.
Oh,
if I come across a Rogue One thing where somebody's talking about it, or just a picture, or even a fanfic something, I'm always reblogging that, and I use that hashtag always reblog Rogue One. So I mean that's one thing you can look for on my Tumblr. A good stash of Rogue One stuff.
Cool. So you do Tumblr?
Yeah, I do Tumblr.
Tumblr, I mean, getting off track for a second, Tumblr is, in my opinion, it was my favorite one. We had a really cool thing started with Southgate Media Group on there, and then we got bumped off. They got bought, and everything changed, and we got bumped off. It said we violated something. I'm like, I didn't violate anything. I didn't even have, I was really careful about everything, and I heard that they bumped off like 1 million people with some issue like that. But then they won't let you back on. So I'm back on, but I don't use it. And it's unfortunate because I thought it was the coolest one.
Yeah, it's really good. It's one of the few social media programs out there that will let you view posts in chronological order still.
Yeah, right.
Instead of Facebook and Twitter that are showing you like, oh, maybe you'll like this, and bouncing stuff around.
Yeah.
But Tumblr, it's always right there in order, and you can just follow somebody's feed down.
So are you Scotty Smurf on there?
Yeah, on Tumblr and Twitter.
You know what? Maybe we'll add a This Week in Geek Tumblr page, and we can play around with that too some.
Yeah, I can post stuff.
Because on Facebook, we're really just reblogging stuff is all we're doing.
Right.
I'd like to. With the Geek Den, I started trying to add a little more, personal flavor to it. It would be cool to have Tumblr and that kind of kicking back and forth. So, future plans. Future
Yes.
plans, Scott.
Well, watch out for that.
So, one more thing about the Joker. There was a rumor that came out today that they are working on the script. Now, that's not a rumor. That is something that it came out that, like, yeah, they are in development on a Joker too, because it's made all this money.
Right.
And Joaquin Phoenix said right away, he's like, I'd be down for it again.
Right.
But here's
I
the
guess
interesting thing. What they broke today is they're likely going to cast a Batman for it that is not Robert Pattinson. It is not the Batman for the DCEU.
Huh.
And also, they want to add the Penguin and Two-Face.
Oh, interesting.
Now, what's interesting is the Batman with Robert Pattinson, to what I understand, is not connected to the DCEU because they already had Ben Affleck. They have to burn that all to the ground, but they can't until they're done with Aquaman 2 and Wonder Woman. Like, they've got stuff in place. So they actually are kind of in a bad place where they have to have a DCEU. They have to have the Batman universe, and then they have to have now this Joker universe, because there's a Penguin in the Batman, and they said he is not the Joker that's going to show up in the Batman eventually is not Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, that's interesting.
So confusing, yes. Do I care? No. Let's give me a ton of different ones. I mean, they did it in the comics where they started making everything a multiverse. I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that.
Okay.
It might get confusing for the general public, but you know what? We're on this ride for a while. When the burnout happens and people get tired of superhero stuff, then we can let that shake down. But while we can get this stuff made, let's do it.
Maybe it can even act as like a test lab kind of thing. Just throw some stuff out there, be experimental, and see what works. And kind of get an idea of what you can put together then for something, and then maybe piece together something like Marvel did, where you have a build up to a Justice League thing where it feels like an organic growth to it.
Yeah, well, even if you go back to that, they could easily do that from the point they're at if they just went, give it a few years, okay? Give it a few years, then do something. Maybe you still have the same Wonder Woman, maybe you have the same Aquaman. Don't reboot a Justice League yet. Give it a few years where you can maybe build up the Pattinson thing, and you can start offshooting from that and try a completely different approach. But you're right, it's got to be organic. But if they want to stay in that DCEU world with what they have, then they just need to recast Batman and Superman and tell us some stories in that world. Because everybody's accepting it. People are accepting, they're talking about doing Batman Beyond, and there's a rumor that that something that we've been wanting for a while is going to happen, that Michael Keaton's going to come in and play the old Batman to train Batman Beyond.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Oh, my God. That would be amazing. And originally, when they first talked about this, it was supposed to be Keanu Reeves, but I think he's gotten a little long in the tooth for it.
For playing Terry McGinnis?
Yeah.
No.
Well, this is way back when they were talking about it. Way back. Like when the cartoon first started, everyone said, they should have him. I would like to see, somebody younger in that role, somebody that not somebody like baby-faced, like Spider-Man,
right.
But somebody who, boy, I'm trying to think of somebody that would be good.
I'm not up on my teen actors at the moment.
Oh, sure you are, Scott. Okay, so let's get off of that. Let's talk about other stuff.
All right.
Big news this week. Final trailer for Rise of Skywalker hit.
Oh, you're going to jump right to that? Okay.
Well, let's do it, man. What did you think?
It was a little interesting at first because it didn't have, and I saw this in a lot of places, it didn't have a wham moment. It was a lot of fantastic looking scenes, but it didn't really have that that wham moment, like the first teaser for Rise of Skywalker did. It started out with Rey doing that jump over the TIE fighter, and then it ended with the Emperor's cackle. So that's, two good wham moments that bridged that thing.
You don't think that when they showed the Emperor's throne, I was like, what?
Well, we already knew the Emperor's coming back from that first teaser.
So you wanted a little reveal in here.
Something,
Well, one reveal is we saw that the Emperor is in physical form.
That is something, and it looks like he's on some type of big chair.
That's the throne. That
big
throne is from the original design. It was supposed to be in, I think, Return of the Jedi.
I think so, yeah, because Return of the Jedi, the final duel was going to be set on the Imperial homeworld of Had Abaddon, which later became Coruscant. And it was like in a volcano room that later became Mustafar. But yeah, that it is an old Ralph McQuarrie design, and boy, it shows. But
stunning.
I've been watching some stuff on YouTube with people reacting and analyzing it and going over, and I appreciate it more now, because it's not getting, it doesn't need to get you overhyped, because it knows what it is. It's saying this is the end of the Skywalker saga. You're going to see your old friends Lando, your new friends Poe, Finn, and Rey.
Yeah, and it's already selling like crazy. So they really don't need that wham moment.
Yeah, the more
Maybe
I watch
saving it for when you see it. So you see it and you're like, whoa.
That's what I'm hoping. JJ being the storyteller that he is, he's building up to something. There's, all these scenes in this trailer are, you try to piece them together into something, and any theory you have it was probably wrong.
Yeah.
And
did you notice that they keep talking about how Rey had that stone knife, and I guess that's from the extended universe.
I saw something about that. I can't remember what that is from the EU. I used to be really big into the EU back in the days, but then I fell out of it and I lost momentum with it. So I missed a lot of like the Yuuzhan Vong War, and I haven't kept up with all the new stuff either. But
yeah.
But it is nice to see them bringing stuff in, because like in Rebels they brought back Thrawn, and they did Clone Wars, which brought in a lot of extra stuff. So
it's cool. They're tapping that stuff. This is what, once again, we said this when Disney bought Lucas. We kept saying, everyone was all up in arms. Oh, they're going to just trash the EU. They're not doing anything with it. And I know on this show we kept talking about how what we thought would happen is they would start picking and choosing things.
Yeah, exactly.
Here they are. Did you see they're doing a Mara Jade TV show on Disney Plus?
I saw that. I didn't know that it was firmed up, but that's fantastic. She's a great character. She would have been great for the sequel trilogy.
Right. But see, it's interesting because that wasn't the story they wanted to tell. This story about Rey and Kylo Ren was the story, and how it tied back to Skywalker. Bringing Mara Jade in, they would have had to do a storyline with her. They left it out. Now we're going to find out about Mara Jade.
Right.
I'm okay with that, man.
I
want Thrawn.
Oh yeah, that and Mandalorian and Kenobi being a series.
Awesome.
That's good this way, because it gives a little breathing room and time to explore it and get a little character moment.
A Diego one that you're
Cassian Andor. So this will be a prequel. And it's supposed to have K2SO in it.
Nice.
So that'll be a bit of budget, because it was all mocap.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw the behind the scenes stuff, but they put Alan Tudyk in this rig that looked like K2SO, and he was on stilts because K is so much taller. So they could get the eye line right for the actors. They put Alan Tudyk up on these boots. He's walking around really tall, but they really got into that pretty well.
When I was at Star Wars Celebration, there was a person that I was standing by that was in a costume, and they were up on those the painter's stilts.
Oh wow!
And this thing, their costume was crazy, because I don't know how they fit in it, but it really looked like the robot. Like they must have had very skinny legs, and
I guess
it was crazy.
Wow.
I was really impressed by it. And they couldn't move very much, and they kind of did some things. They moved their heads to that, but then like their handler's like, yeah, they can't really walk over to you, But it was cool. It was cool.
Oh. Yeah, good. Yeah, but still, a lot of great, interesting shots. Seeing Lando, that the huge fleet shots. The huge Rebel crazy. Fleet, the huge Imperial First Order fleet,
and those shots, people are going to be picking those apart once we get a different angle. Because here you can see some of the front. People are like, oh, there's the Corvette, and there's this, there's that.
Well, you can see the Ghost. You can see the Ghost from Rebels.
When you get that sideways shot, they start giving us some of that. That's when people are going to be really tearing it apart. I like the shots with the Star Destroyers. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, that was really neat. It really helped hammer home the size of the Imperial fleet that the original trilogy couldn't really do as well for budget reasons or whatever. Right. Until Return of the Jedi got a little better about it. But we saw it like in Solo. They had a better look at it, and Rogue One a little bit. You saw 3 or 4 Star Destroyers around the Death Star.
But here we're seeing they're bringing everything in. I wonder if we'll see those. What do they call those? The dreadnought things. That giant Star Killer thing.
I wonder because we talk about picking from the EU. One of my favorite EU stories, and I know people are either hot or cold on this one, but the Dark Empire trilogy.
I am hot on that one.
Yeah, that was the first story where they brought back the Emperor, and Luke falls to the dark side, and then he comes back, and Leia's there, with the Jedi training and everything. I
love it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I've read it so many times. I have the RPG source book just for all the extra stories it has in it and characters.
Scott, look at this. Can you see it up there?
Kinda.
I got the print from Dark Empire up on the wall there.
Oh, I have one too. I saw Dave Dorman at a con a couple years ago, and I got him to sign a print for me. I have the audio drama of Dark Empire that they put out on CD.
Now that I'd be interested in hearing.
Oh, yeah,
I'm going to give a good look here. See if I can get it.
A little higher. There we go. Oh, that is very nice. Mine is somewhere in one of my cabinets, but it is blocked off, so I can't get it out right now. Maybe I'll get it for next time.
Because of what we do, we have so much artwork. And when I got these Dave Dorman pieces, I got that. I got a one with. Can you see it up there?
Yeah.
I got that one, and then I got a third one. I can't remember what it was. That's the only one I haven't framed and put up, but these two I just absolutely love. But I have so much artwork; it's ridiculous. I was just going through stuff the other day, and I realized I have a Matt Hansel piece where he did the original Batman. It looks like a Bob Kane Batman.
Oh wow!
But it's Matt Hansel doing it, and he signed it for me, and it's just oh my god, I love it so much. And I'm like, I don't have this up. How do I not have this up? And I have another one. Tom Bacon did one where he mashed Star Wars and the comic Saga. Have you read Saga?
I haven't.
Saga's amazing. It's amazing. You would actually love it. It's a science fiction comic book. It's just, oh my God, it's one of my favorite books. And he mashed it with Star Wars. I'm not going to go digging for it right now, but one of these shows, I'll put it up on the wall behind me. It's so awesome. Tom Bacon's amazing too. We meet all these amazing artists. They have such great creativity with it. It doesn't seem like it seems organic. Like you see it and you think, man, I want to see this. I want to see Saga and Star Wars mashed up.
Yeah.
So other news about today, Cloak and Dagger was canceled. Did you watch Cloak and Dagger at all?
I hadn't seen that, but I am seeing this. I guess this is part of this whole thing that Disney's canceling all the Marvel projects that everybody else has so they can bring them in-house.
Well, it's funny because, I think that is the case, but Disney owns Hulu. And it is a Hulu show.
Huh.
They didn't announce canceling The Runaways. And The Runaways is a great show. If you haven't seen that, it's a great show. That's on Hulu. And there is going to be a crossover between Cloak and Dagger and The Runaways. Here's what my thought is on this. And this is not what you're seeing here. Cloak and Dagger is a younger demographic. I have a feeling they're going to take their older demographic stuff and shove it on Hulu. The more obscure Marvel stuff that's skewed older, the stuff that's skewed younger, this is a perfect show for Disney Plus.
Okay.
It's a perfect match.
Yeah.
Now, will they keep the same cast? I don't know, but I would not be surprised if Cloak and Dagger didn't show up on Disney Plus at some point.
Okay.
So we got that. They announced, well, they didn't announce, but the big rumor is that they are going to now bring John Barenthal into the MCU as Punisher.
Oh.
Because, they kept saying that was never going to happen, never going to happen. None of these guys were going to be there. Just before Feige was announced, you were starting to hear that, like, Feige wants Charlie Cox and Feige wants Jessica Jones back. And it was like, wait a minute. And they can't touch those characters until 2020, but people assumed they would just recast them if they were going to use them. Well, now it sounds like they're trying to take those actors from the Netflix shows, bring them into the MCU.
I mean, 2020 is barely 2 months away. I mean, just wait till Jan 1 and start filming, and Jan 2, because it'll all be.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it's January, but it's in 2020 that their deal expires with Netflix.
Right.
And, I think it's interesting that they're looking at these people. I want them to bring them in. I want them to fix Iron Fist. That one, I think they either need to ditch Iron Fist or they need to fix it. They could technically recast that one. I don't think he was really the best at that. But Luke Cage was amazing. And even though the scripts weren't great, the first half of the first season was excellent. Second half of the first season was garbage.
Oh, my.
But the actor, Mike Colton, was great in the role. He was great on Jessica Jones. So bring him back and then maybe recast your Iron Fist and do a Heroes for Hire show rather than a Luke Cage and Iron Fist as two separate shows. Now you've got my interest.
Okay.
And Daredevil, you don't necessarily need to give Daredevil a show. We got 3 seasons of Daredevil, which the first season is one of my favorite superhero shows of all time. You don't need to do that again, but you could put Charlie Cox in the MCU, have him show up as a lawyer, have him suit up once in a while. Man, I would go crazy. I love Daredevil. So, once again, Scott,
I got
Daredevil on my wall.
Oh, yeah. I got to get caught up on these shows. I've heard so much about Daredevil, and
there's too much TV, man.
I'd love to see this David Tennant character and Jessica Jones. It sounds really interesting.
It's amazing. He is the worst. He's so nasty. He's
did we ever talk about Good Omens? Did we ever talk about Good Omens?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Oh,
Molly just read the book, so she's been pushing us, and we're like, we'll get to it. Have you watched it?
We actually did watch that. That was enjoyable. It wasn't as great as I know a lot of people are on about. It is a religious based story based on the Antichrist coming down and
right. And the angel and the devil have to work together to save the Antichrist or whatever.
Right, and they're both totally inept at it.
Right,
is the joke, which is funny, and it's fun. It's got some good funny bits to it. But watching David Tennant flounce around England in garish outfits is always a thrill. So you can watch it for that alone.
Well, when you see him in Jessica Jones, he is a bad person. He is a very bad person, and he was excellent in it. So just know that you've got some sweet David Tennant coming your way. Did you see another one that we love with him? Did you see the one where he's the detective?
Broadchurch.
Oh, did you see that?
No. It wasn't Jodie Whittaker also on Broadchurch?
Yes.
So
she wasn't the lead. She wasn't the lead.
We need to get on that.
We only watched the first season, just from timing standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
We loved it. We talk about that first season all the time. There are visuals in it. There are things that happen in it that you can't stop talking about. And the storyline is just excellent. So
speaking of the doctors, there is somebody found a picture. They were able to get a sneak picture in filming, I guess, somewhere in England on Clifton Suspension Bridge. And it looked like there was about 4 or 5 of our favorite pepper pots.
Oh, really?
On that bridge. So, yeah, it looks like they're moving back to some of the classic Who enemies for Jodie's next season, which I think needs to be done because the first season, as I say over and over, Jodie is a delight. Jodie is funny and charming, and she carries the role well. she and the rest of the cast were just let down by stories that were just paper thin.
Oh, see, I haven't watched it yet, even though we have a show about it. Last year when that was on was when I got really sick. That was when This Week in Geek fell off. I mean, I was sick for over a month. Terrible sick. And Martha and Molly watched the first episode and they came up and said, "Oh my God, you're going to love it." I never even saw the first episode with Jody.
Oh, wow. No, it's some good bits here and there. But it's not till, they did the Rosa Parks episode. I'm sure you heard, which they actually pulled off. I was surprised. I was afraid it would be corny and, racism bad, but no, they found a scene where the doctor had to do something that you're like, oh my God, is she really going to do that? Because she's in the Rosa Parks situation. She has to make sure history goes right.
Right. Right.
Then, and they actually pulled that off there, but the whole season, it's just not sink your teeth into it until it gets to the end of the season. There's an episode, and I always forget the title, but it's like, I want to say Get Out, but it's not that. It's this blind girl gets abandoned in her house, and she's stuck there because there's monsters all in the woods around it.
Ooh.
Yeah. And,
cool.
The doctor and the team land there, and they have to help her find what these monsters are. And you really started to feel, oh, this is some dark,
we're going into new territory here.
A dark Matt Smith episode or something, or even one of the darker Tennant episodes where he really gets into something meaty.
Yeah.
And then the finale, they do, they bring it back and they bring something back, and you're like, oh, because then Jody really starts chewing into it. And but you need to watch that season. It is good. Jody's fun to watch. That a lot of the episodes are going to stick with you, except like the Rosa Parks one and then the one that the monsters around the house, and then the last episode they did for Christmas. But I have seen that they are looking to get the stories a little, I think, thicker. They said,
okay,
where they're a little more substance to them. They kind of intentionally did that, went the other way with her season because they feared it would, the heavy mythos and lore stuff was, making it so people didn't want to watch. But I think without that to build on, it's just not as good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I will eventually watch it and talk about it on here, I'm sure. So I'm anxious to do that because I know Chris watched it. I know you watched it. So now I'm the oddball out. I really got to catch up on it. So, Scott, we are done.
We're done?
That was fun.
I got to throw in one more thing.
Do it, man. We got literally a minute.
Adventure Time. So we haven't watched the final season yet, but the season finale on Nick was like Cartoon Network was last year. 10 seasons, but HBO has ordered 4-hour-long specials of Adventure Time.
Nice. So I love Adventure Time.
Yeah, it's a fantastic series, one of the best animated series in recent times. And we do need to finish that out. We'll probably do that this winter. But there's 4 specials, which will probably go back and fill in some blanks here, over the series or whatever. But that has been announced, and I'm glad to see that they're not going to let that go away.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm in, man. All right, that is it. Scott, thank you for doing this. This was a blast. Yeah. And look, we have theme music on our way out. All right, that's it for this week. We will be back next week. I think we're shooting for Thursday again. So hopefully we'll get all these bugs worked out and we can we'll get the people talking with us on here. But follow us on Facebook. We'll work on the Tumblr. That's it. We're out.
All right. Good night.